Alright, I'm back, y'all. You already know what it is. Like, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Don't fucking ask me why this took so long, but basically, I have a new setup and I haven't done this in a while, so it took some mental preparation to get back in the game. But as you can tell from the title, I was at the latest hearing on the Tekashi case, and this was actually the sentencing of Mr. Butler. I don't know what his alias is, but this is the driver who drove some of the people to the robberies, shootings, and stuff like that. And he did a sentencing today. And this is important because it's going to let how the judge is going to act going forward, right? His temperament and how he kind of sees things. And I think I told you guys on the very first video that this judge doesn't seem like a dickhead, right? This judge is pretty much just doing his job, you know what I mean? He doesn't seem to have any animosity. Like, he's not trying to give people, he didn't look like he was trying to give people football numbers, the first time I saw him. So that was kind of my impression of him. And by the end of today, I think that I may be correct on that one, because as you guys know by now, I mean, I could have broke this news like the second I got out the courtroom, but I don't know. I guess I wanted to get home, and I didn't feel like it was something that I needed to break, because I'm just gonna break it down anyway, and kind of, truth be told, I think I'm the best source when it comes to this info, because I kind of take my time and I break it down and let you guys know what's going on. So I know you know by now that he got 60 months, so that's 5 years. I talked to his lawyer after the hearing. I asked him if he thinks that it's going to run concurrent, which means that, not concurrent, if he's going to also take off, if they're going to take off a time served. And he said, yeah, that's automatic. So it looks like from the 5 years he just received, 9 months is already shaved off, because he's been in jail for 9 months. You guys already know that, the big news. So let's break it down how we usually do, and I'll tell you what happened in the courtroom. So it started late. The whole hearing today started late because things got back scheduled, and some of the hearings that the judge had beforehand ran late. So we started at like 11 a.m. And one thing I'm noticing is the courtroom is getting, not the room itself, but the number of people in there is getting smaller and smaller. It seems that people don't really care as much. And I was gonna do a video. It's been 4 months. I wanted to do a video a while ago about why people don't care as much, even though like these people are still facing these real situations. It's not like, he got free or his situation is any less serious, but people just, they don't give like, it's out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. But I decided to hold off on it and just kind of stick to covering the case, because I want to be really thorough with it and just started from, finish what I started basically. So, like I said, the rooms are getting, smaller and smaller, less and less people are attending. And this one, it was like literally 10 people in the room. Granted, I don't think they're really publicizing what the dates are these days. I don't think they're like announcing it. You just kind of have to know when it is. Someone actually just told me, and I went to go check it out. So long story short, when it comes to sentencing, the defense and the government, they basically give their recommendation to the judge. The judge doesn't have to follow it to the T, but he can take it into consideration. But he doesn't have to follow the recommendation. Now, there's a minimum sentence of 60 months. And that's what the government recommended. They didn't want to go over it, which was very surprising, because it let me know that, honestly, they don't really care much about they do care about what times he served, but they care more about the conviction. It looks like they're just trying to get their numbers up, or they're just trying to get a conviction rather than like, we need to put him away for life. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I noticed. Like, honestly, if they feel like they're gonna get a conviction on one point or like a major thing, they'll drop the lesser cases. That's been proven over and over again. So it just seems like the government is just with the conviction, they're happy. So they stuck with the mandatory minimum. And his defense, his lawyer, basically pled on his behalf, saying, hey, let's keep it in the mandatory minimum. Let's not go over it, because this man has a family. This man does a lot for his community. And this man has never been sentenced before. He's never faced a sentencing before, and I don't think he's gonna face a sentencing after this because he's 37 years old. He's gonna learn his lesson, stuff like that. So they're both recommended a minimum sentence, and the judge then asked Mr. Butler, "Is there anything you want to add to this?" And that's when it really got emotional, man. Like he broke down, and he was like, I know things that I've done have hurt people, and I sincerely apologize from the bottom of my heart. I want to apologize to my son. I know that once I get out, I'm going to be a better man, be a better father for him. And his son just started crying. Like, I mean, everybody was crying. But I think one of the guys in there was, like, related to Shadi. He looked just like Shadi, like a darker skinned Shadi. But he got emotional. He left the room. His son left the room. I think his sister was there with a baby. Like, they started, like, crying. And I swear to God, the judge started tearing up. He wasn't bawling, but I swear to God, he got choked up, and I'm not making this up. And he said, I need to take a moment. He took a moment, regained himself, and then he started. And this is gonna be in my next video too. I'm gonna tell you guys, if you really want Tekashi to get out as soon as possible, I'll tell you what you need to do. But the judge started reading the letters that he received from his family and friends. He was saying that, hey, this guy took care of my mom when she was sick, took care of his nephews like they're his own kids. He goes to this PTA meetings. He does this, he does that. And he kind of just, takes care of people like they're his own family. So he's a good dude. He just got caught up in a bad situation. And the judge understood that, and he thanked everyone. He thanked the family for showing up, and he thanked them for writing him and giving him more of a sense of what kind of person this Mr. Butler is. And like I think I told you guys in the last couple of videos that he's one of the people who kind of kept a high spirit. So you could tell, like, I don't want to say he's a good dude because I don't know him personally, but you could tell, like, he's that type of dude. Like, if you're around him, like, you would just be laughing all day. You know what I mean? He had that type of personality, and honestly, Shadi too. But I'm not gonna try to claim like I know these people. So he was that kind of person. So I'm not surprised that the judge saw that and saw that, yo, this isn't like a cold-hearted killer type of person. He was just like, listen, you got caught up in a bad situation. Your only other prior was a narcotics prior, which you served 5 years probation for. So you've never gotten convicted before. And he told him the fact that you pled guilty actually helps you a lot, because if this went to trial, you would not get, like, I would not give you the minimum sentencing for sure. With these things that are, levied against you, if this went to trial, you would definitely not get the minimum. So the fact that you pled guilty promptly is actually working in your favor a lot. So the judge mentioned that. So ultimately, the judge broke down why the sentencing was what it was. And he kind of listed the points, which he didn't really have to, but, he felt the need to. And honestly, I appreciate that, because it taught me a lot, and I'm betting it's going to teach a lot of you how this works, at least in New York, because, this hasn't really been the most straightforward process. The judges send people back to, like, get their story straight. Even one of the cases that I actually missed, one of the hearings I missed, apparently the judge was like, yo, this crime happened, this is the Berkeley shooting. The judge was like, yo, this crime happened in Brooklyn. Why are we taking on this case in the Manhattan court? Because our jurisdiction is in Manhattan. And he had to send the government officials out of the room and say, you got to figure out why this is being held in Manhattan. And they basically came back and said that, some of the drugs were being dealt in Manhattan, and that's how this case is going on. So this case almost got, like, ended. It was close to being, like, capped very quickly if they didn't come up with that little thing like, yo, these drugs were sold in Manhattan. So like I said, this hasn't been the most straightforward process. But the judge really does a lot, and kind of, he likes to keep shit straightforward. He likes to keep it pretty simple. So yeah, he explained why the sentencing was what it was, and he said that the sentencing had to match the crime, and it has to send a message to other people, which I feel like is bullshit, because that means you're sentencing him to give a warning to other people. So it's like, you're almost punishing him for other people. You know what I mean? But yeah, he said it has to send a message to other people so they don't do the same crime. And it also has to keep him away from the public so the public can feel safe. And that's why he's away, so he can rehabilitate and like learn better, whatever. But one of the big things is so that the public feels safe, and also to stop him from committing the same crime again. But long story short, he was sentenced to 60 months and 3 years of supervised release. And the judge said, "Listen, I don't want you to commit basically no crime ever again." Which is whatever. Like, of course he's gonna say that. But in the next video, I'm gonna talk about it's gonna be very important because I'm gonna talk about what's gonna happen at 6-9, and it's gonna be the most accurate prediction that I've done so far. I haven't been really bad with predictions. I've had a pretty okay record, but this is gonna be the most accurate prediction that I've done so far in regards to 6-9, and it's gonna let you know how you can possibly get 6-9 out earlier. Okay. All right. Like, subscribe, blah blah blah. Follow my Instagram. I got shut down from Instagram for a minute. I got disabled for like a month, so I didn't have Instagram for like a month. So that shit was kind of weird. But go follow my Instagram. And, you know when I'm about to upload shit. That's where I preview my shit. So follow my Instagram, like, subscribe, share.